What's going on, guys? It's Irish Shadow here, and I'm making this video with E3 2017 right around the corner. We are almost at the end of May. So, yeah, E3, probably the most exciting time of the year if you're a gamer, sometimes, depending on what you're actually looking for in the upcoming years. But, yeah, I'm just here to give you a little bit of my thoughts on what will happen at E3 and what I really want to see from E3. Now, I have to tell you that right now this is my own personal thought. Like, this is my own personal opinion of what I want to see, and this is exclusively a Sony video. So, like, I don't care what Microsoft is doing with their Xbox Scorpio. Don't care about the fucking Nintendo Switch and their 3 games that are coming out this year. Who gives a fuck, really? I'm focusing exclusively on Sony because for the past few years, Sony has really taken the ball and run with it at their E3 showings. So, I really don't know how to begin this little video, so I think what I will do is we will take a look at what is currently for pre-order as of May 20th, which is the day I'm recording this, and see what's coming out in the future. So again, this is my own opinion. If you have a different opinion, then go ahead, leave it in the comments below. I always read the comments. So let me know what you think about what you're looking forward to at E3, not just on the Sony side, on the Xbox, on the PC, on the Nintendo Switch. Just let me know what you guys think. But let's take a look at some pre-order games right now. Okay, so of course, Madden 18, that's a given. And we got the Golf Club 2, a lot of sports games. There's a Cars game. There's some game called Rim. I don't really know what that is. Tekken. I'm not really a big Tekken fan. And then we got the Morrowind expansion for the Elder Scrolls Online. Now, this is kind of upsetting to me because I know that this game is the reason that we're not going to see an Elder Scrolls 6 for a long time. Considering like Elder Scrolls games take a number of years, like pretty much I would say other than like Final Fantasy, they take the longest amount of time to complete. But moving on. Okay, so we have Dirt 4. We have a Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood, which I get really confused by Final Fantasy games. I don't know what is like Final Fantasy 14, what's Final Fantasy 15, what's Final Fantasy like. Blah. It's just a big mind fuck. We got the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I guess the N stands for Naughty Dog. My guess. Haven't really gotten into the Crash series, so that might be something I'd check out. Yeah, see right here. We got Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. Like, what the fuck? Like, can't they just be consistent and make, like, Final Fantasy 14, 15, 16, 17? Not like X and then X2. Just call it fucking 11. I don't know. Agents of Mayhem. No idea what that is. Everybody's Golf. Who cares? You got Destiny 2. Destiny 2. You're definitely going to hear some fucking news about that at E3. And then we got NBA 2K18. NBA 2K18 Legendary Edition. And then you got NBA 2K18 Legendary Edition Gold Edition Hoop version 1.75. Who gives a fuck? It's basketball. Who cares? Call of Duty World War II. You gotta have one every year, I guess. Digital Deluxe Edition, Standard Edition, Super Mega Cock in Your Hand Edition, whichever you feel comfortable with playing. Star Wars Battlefront 2 Standard Edition, Ex Machina Edition. Fucking hell. Then you got Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is actually a PlayStation VR game. I don't know. You'd have to be a very fucking hardcore fan of Star Trek in order to pay $66.99. Keep in mind these are Canadian prices because I am in Canada. But still, that's a lot for a VR game. I'm not even sure what you would do in a situation, in like that game situation. I guess you're just like playing as fucking Kirk. I have no fucking idea. Moving on. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Now, I am highly on the fence about this game in particular. I love the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because I played that a whole shitload when arcades were relevant. They are no longer relevant. I don't care what anyone says. But I don't know. It's just it's a very touch and go game because after this game comes out, is there going to be like a Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Ultra Edition that comes out? Because Konami loves to do, or Konami, Capcom loves to do that shit where they make a version of a game and then like a year later they make an extension version of that game with new characters, some like really new characters, some characters that were less popular are taken out, replaced with like fucking Wesker, shit like that. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about picking this game up. I will if I hear good things about it. But just because it's got Marvel in the title doesn't mean it's gonna catch my attention just like that, and I'm gonna plop down $80 or 120 for the fucking thing. Next Machina. Don't know what that game is. Might be good, but I'm not here to explain what these games are. I'm just here to show you what's available for pre-order as of the 20th of May. We got Middle-earth: Shadow of War. I kind of thought that Lord of the Rings would kind of go away after the last Hobbit film, but apparently not. Then you got the Gold Edition, you got the Silver Edition, you got the Bronze Edition, you got the shit-covered Plastic Edition. I don't know. Gran Turismo Sport. Now, this is a game that I've kind of had my eye on for a while, but, considering it's a PlayStation exclusive, it could be miles away from being complete. Don't know. Oh boy, and last but certainly not least, we have South Park: The Fractured But Whole. This is a game I am extremely displeased with at the moment. Since the game's announcement, last year at E3, this game has gone through, I think it's on its fourth release date since being announced. It's been pushed back from at least two of them. Like the original one was December 31st, 2016, which was unrealistic because that's what every game that gets announced has. It just tells you that it's not going to be this year, it's going to be next year because basically nobody releases a game on fucking New Year's Eve. And then it got pushed back to March, and then as February was rolling around, it got pushed back to an unknown date, so it had no release date. And then now apparently it's October 2017. We'll see. I don't believe it for a fact. Ubisoft, get your shit together. But that's basically what is pre-orderable as of the 20th of May. So let's move on to what I personally want to see from Sony at E3 2017. Now, Sony's press conferences for E3 have been stellar for the most part for the last few years. I would say the last 3 years, probably 4. I would have to go back and watch every E3 since like the PlayStation 4's announcement till last year's. I'm not really going to do that because, you know, PlayStation 4 didn't have the best launch for like game wise, but who knows? Every year from Sony, they always announce things that are immediately so awesome that Sony literally hits you in the teeth with a sledgehammer, and your brain's instinct is to go, "Wow, that just happened!" Like breathtaking shit. Like God of War was announced last year. It had a little bit of a lengthy, I would say kind of lengthy, playable demo, like in actual game time demo. So let's get into it. Okay, so speaking of God of War, this game has to be tail end of being either completed or far along enough that they can announce a release date. I'm actually hoping for a release date announcement. That's all I really want from this game, and a release date announcement. It doesn't have to be like an exact date, like approximately, let's say, if it's going to be this year, let's say October, November, December release date. That's all they have to say for that. Or at least a progress report, like, yes, we are working diligently on this game. We have several issues that are being affected. You know, give us a little bit more of like what kind of stuff you can expect to see from God of War, because this is probably one of my favorite franchises of all time. It's going to be kind of awkward because I know it's a reboot, but it's going to be interesting to see because, yeah, it's going to be a fresh take, obviously, because it's been announced that it's a reimagining of God of War. Hence, he has a son. But yeah, let's just hope that there is a good announcement, release date announcement, or a progress report at some point. Death Stranding. Oh boy. Oh boy, so many questions about this game. So many questions. I am both intrigued and deterred at the same time. Because this is a Hideo Kojima game. Now, anyone who knows about Hideo Kojima, the guy is the fucking Mozart of video game design. He is a fucking visionary. And from saying that, I'm not expecting a release date on this game, because one thing I know about Hideo Kojima is you cannot rush brilliance. Brilliance has to come at a cost of time. So I'm not looking for a release date. I would like more information about what this game is, because people have said that it's a spiritual successor to the Silent Hill franchise. It's like a new take on Silent Hill, but you know, the two trailers that they've released in the past 2 years don't really scream like a Silent Hill game. It's more of like a psychological mystery to me, more than a like horror survival game. But I don't know. I don't know what this game is. Like, if it's anything like Silent Hill Downpour, I'm gonna avoid it. because Silent Hill has not had a very good release lineup for the past few years. That was until PT, and we all know what happened of that. So, yeah. I don't know. I just want more information about this game, like some actual information, not any like brilliantly done cinematic trailers. I want some actual like information on what you're supposed to do in this game. That's all I'm looking for. And then we get Marvel Heroes Omega. Now, the beta, the PlayStation 4 open or closed beta for this game has come and gone. It ended on the 18th of May. And I didn't get to play a whole lot of it, mainly for the fact that in order to get into the beta, you actually had to purchase a Founders Pack. Now, these Founders Packs could range from like $20 all the way up to $79. And that basically gets you a character to play as. Now, there was over like, I think there was close to 20 characters in game other than what you could get from the Founders Packs. Now, you can actually go through, it's a free to play game. Don't get me wrong, when the full game releases, that is. So that's why I'm hoping for the release date, the full game release date. But it's a fun little game. Like, you can have any character that you want. So keep in mind that it is a free-to-play game, so there are microtransactions in there. You don't necessarily need microtransactions in order to buy all of these characters, because you can actually farm the currency in-game. It just takes a long fucking time. I do remember that. But all of these models in this game are based off of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, like, there's a Hulk version in there, which is like a classic comic version. Then there is a Marvel Cinematic Universe version of the Hulk, which you can get for in-game currency. So yeah, it's a fun little game, and if it's free, that just gives me more of a reason to want to play it. But as it stands right now, I didn't feel like paying to get into a playable beta, which was very, very limited from what I did play. I think I got as far as like Venom before the beta ended, because I played it on my girlfriend's PlayStation 4. It's okay, but it'll be a lot better when the full game comes out, because apparently there's like 100+ characters in the game that you can get. So that'll be interesting, and I want a release date for that game as soon as possible. And of course, we have the already announced Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. So that's going to be interesting. Don't know what to do, what to make of this game yet, because it's basically going to be a Lego game like every other fucking one. But we don't even get a full-length trailer until May 23rd, which is actually 3 days from now. So, okay. Moving away from Marvel and on to DC, I'm hoping to see 2 games released off of DC Comics comic books. Batman, the Telltale series. My God, what a fantastic game that was. That was absolutely fantastic. One of the best that I've played. Not like that fucking The Walking Dead: A New Frontier, which I still haven't finished. I will finish it when all 5 episodes are released, which should be pretty soon. It's just, I got tired of playing through a game that I'm really not enjoying, and having to wait for the rest of the game that I'm probably not going to enjoy if I haven't enjoyed the first 2 episodes as well. Or the first episode I've played. I haven't played the second episode yet. I'm just not really interested in it. But Batman episode 2, or part 2, season 2, whatever they want to call it. Just, I hope that Telltale announces it. And yeah, the second game based off of a DC comic book series is again made by Telltale Games. The Wolf Among Us Episode 2, Season 2, Part 2 has to come out. Now, for those of you who don't know what The Wolf Among Us is, it is a story-driven game based off of, fairy tale creatures like, Three Little Pigs, Cinderella, Snow White. The big bad wolf is actually who you're playing as. He's like a detective. But all of these like fabled creatures live in like our world. They live in our world, so they have to take like human form in order to like blend in and live as a society. And then shit goes awry, and I don't want to spoil anything because I haven't played the game for the channel yet, which I'm probably going to do at some point if that game is released. If not, I might play it anyway because I love the fuck out of that game. But there is kind of a wishy-washy ending to the whole thing. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, you'll understand why there has to be a sequel. Now, the first game came out way back in 2013, so that it's been a while. And I think that we're all pretty much due for it. So a announcement would just be fantastic. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the things. Oh boy. This picture right here is worth 1,000 words because this is exactly the look on my face after I learned that there might not be a release date for a long fucking time. And I sit here constantly every day hoping for Naughty Dog to give us a release date for The Last of Us 2. Part 2, I believe they call it. I'm expecting some kind of information from this upcoming E3. A release date would be nice, but I feel that's a little bit unrealistic at this point because it was just basically like recently announced. So I don't know. Usually they follow a strict procedure with Naughty Dog games. They go announcement trailer, few months go by, or a few years in the Uncharted 4 case, and then gameplay footage, and then a few more months go by, and then release. If nothing gets pushed back. So at least they have some kind of like actual in-game footage to show off, not just like cinematic, because cinematics are nice, but the gameplay is really where a game shines, not cinematics. So hopefully Naughty Dog, some kind of information on Last of Us 2. Oh boy. This is kind of unsettling to me because this picture you're looking at right here is undoubtedly fan-made. Now, I don't know the whole story about the development house that created the original Bloodborne, but I hear that it has gone south, and now a new development house has picked up a whole bunch of projects that they had, or IPs that they have done. Bloodborne 2. I love the first game. I absolutely love the first game. Now, I've heard rumors that there will never be a Bloodborne 2. I've heard rumors that there's a very high possibility that Bloodborne 2 will be announced at E3 2017. But I don't know. I just want Sony to either come out and make this a reality or break this false reality. And that's really all I want to say about that game right now. I really hope it's true, but if it's not, stop making me wish it was. And undoubtedly, the final game that I want to see an announcement for at E3 2017 is The Evil Within 2. Now, I know that Bethesda has two games to show off at E3. My original thought was that one was going to be The Elder Scrolls 6. But then it got me thinking, it's like they're not going to release two Elder Scrolls games at the same time. Like, it wouldn't make sense, because they still got the Elder Scrolls Online going, and that's going to take up a majority of their time. Plus, with them working on, what was that one? Oh yes, Fallout 4 VR. Most likely that's going to be one of their games that they're going to showcase. And they just they just recently released like Dishonored 2. So I might have that wrong. But it seems like the only game that they might possibly be working on, I'm hoping it's The Evil Within 2. I don't know why, because I did like the first one. Wasn't such a fan of the DLCs for it, but you know, you never play a game for the DLC exclusively. So, you know, hopefully that they do announce that The Evil Within 2 is in development. That's all I really want. A announcement saying that, yeah, we're working on The Evil Within 2. And hopefully they bring their A game to it. Like, I don't know. Make it feel more like the recent Resident Evil 7. Make it feel more like that. Have like a VR mode incorporated into the game just to give you that extra immersion factor. But don't make it like exclusively VR, because there should be no game that is exclusively VR. There should be games that are like there should be games like that Star Trek game that should be VR exclusive. But then there's games that should be not exclusive, not on VR at all, because it just doesn't work. But then there's a middle ground where it should be like Resident Evil 7 was, where you have the option of playing it in VR or just playing it without the VR. But I don't know, maybe The Last of Us or The Evil Within 2 being announced would really kick off an amazing wait time. But other than that, there's no games that I'm hoping are going to be released or announced. But I do know that there is one game that is going to be announced that has a release date that is going to be announced at E3 2017. Sony has confirmed that they will announce its release date at E3 2017, and I'm so fucking glad they chose this game to showcase, because again, it is a PlayStation 4 exclusive, so fuck Xbox, right? And of course, that game is going back to the Marvel Universe. Finally, I will know the release date for SpiderMan on the PS4. This game blew my mind with the announcement trailer. This was probably the one game, other than God of War, that I have been looking for information on constantly on a monthly basis ever since it was announced. Finally, we are going to know the release date of this game, and I couldn't be happier, because with Spider-Man Homecoming just around the corner, like a little over 2 months away, that seems like a perfect time for this game to be either announced its release date or to be released around the time of that movie. Keep in mind that this version of this Spider-Man game has nothing to do with Homecoming at all. It has nothing to do with Homecoming. But yeah, Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. What a fucking breathtaking trailer announcement that was last year. Like, the actual parkour system was something I've never seen in a Spider-Man game ever. Like, not any of the movie-based games, which I fucking hate. I hate movie-based video games, especially when it comes to like comic book characters, because they always try to rip right from the movie, like make you play things from the movie, but then they add like certain shit that isn't in the movie, like specialty villains that you can fight just to pad the game out. Like, why would you bother with that when you could just make a game based off of Spider-Man and have like free creativity on what you can do and not limit yourself to what is seen in the movie? So I think this game is going to be probably amazing, spectacular, no pun intended, or I don't know. It could be absolutely shit, but we'll find out at E3 2017. So, yeah, that's basically what I'm looking forward to. So, what are you guys looking forward to at E3? Let me know in the comments, because I'm really interested in what people's opinions are. Like, what do they want to see? Like, and don't limit yourself to like the PlayStation. Let me know about what you are thinking about like the Xbox Scorpio. Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think that any upcoming games for the Xbox are going to be great? Because like I'm always looking for a reason to be invested in other consoles. It's just Microsoft doesn't do a very good job of what they release as their exclusives. Because it seems like every time they release something good for their system, there's always something better on PlayStation for me. So, I don't know, maybe it might change. Maybe picking up an Xbox One could be beneficial to me, depending on what they release at E3 or announce. But anyway, that's enough of my rambling for now. So, thank you guys for watching. I've been Irish Shadow, and I'll see you guys again next time.